Hi, this is Alan Mark here from Mark Ventures, and I've created this video to answer some of the commonly asked questions that I get from sellers who want to sell their businesses. So this video hopefully will give you some insights to a little bit about our background and why we're interested to purchase your company. So our core background is in property development. It is a line that my late grandfather did. There's a story behind that. So I wanted to continue this legacy, and coming from a third generation, I felt that it was a pity when he passed away. His children, or the second generation, my parents, my uncles, and my aunties, there was nobody there to continue his business. So we entered into the foray of property development, hoping to continue with his legacy and what is well known for, which is his values of integrity, honesty, and also hard work. So having said that, we have moved on and diversified our portfolios from property development to other areas of construction. And there are also, we have been into other areas such as investments and F&B, and we are looking to further widen our portfolio. We have a heavier investment in Southeast Asia, where we are currently based, but we were formerly also based in the UK, in London, which we have also done projects over there. Okay, that's a little bit about our background, and we're currently looking for acquisitions both in the European and also in the US region. And we are not very specific in terms of what kind of location it is, but we do have a certain preference over certain industries, which probably are some of my favorites and that I have a personal experience and background in construction, manufacturing as well, and also the likes of health and wellness. We are also quite keen on food-related and agriculture-related businesses. And perhaps IT as well. So, but we do have a specific preference in terms of, like, ideally the business is having not too small of a turnover and have at least 5 million and above with a healthy level of profitability. Okay, moving on to maybe other questions that other sellers usually ask us. In terms of the handover and the management of the company, we would identify each acquisition on a case-by-case basis. We do have a team that could manage and oversee the operations from over in Asia, but we would also be setting up a satellite team over in the US and also in the UK to foresee the portfolio of companies that we own over there. So we do prefer of having companies that has a strong management team. But if we do have to find a new general manager or director to be replacing the owners who are retiring, if it's a case of owners who are selling to retire, that is something that we can look into. So as it is by case basis, we will identify what is the best structure for the owners to exit. Our overall goal and plan is to acquire between 5 to 10 companies before the end of this financial year in 2020. So we do have preference over companies that have a similar kind of structure and model, because we could derive synergy from this grouping. But it is not necessarily, it has to be all in the same industry. Okay. In terms of funding of the transaction, it could be a mixture of equity and debt, where we will be working closely with our financial institutions, and we may, depending on the case-by-case basis, have other investment partners, and we have investment partners that work with us as my background formerly was I was a business development director for a Singaporean public listed company. So I do represent some partners who do own a few of the local and international public listed companies. So the acquisition model will depend on the overall structure of how we will optimize both equity and debt to fund the deal. And it's a bit too early for now until we have done a few preliminary rounds of I would say deal analysis and also valuation on the deal to be able to come up with a firmer offer or firmer structure. What is the way or how we can fund the transaction? Okay, let me see what are the commonly asked questions. And I usually do get sellers asking why we are interested to acquire the company. So I think earlier I did mention that we are in the process of growth and looking at acquisitions in the region of the Europe and in the US. So we identify this as our strategy for growth and also to create synergy from our acquisitions. So we are interested in companies that we think have strong fundamental backgrounds. And from the story or history of, which is personal to myself, where we want to continue the legacy of good/great businesses, this is one thing that has a strong driving and motivational force for us in order to acquire companies that we can continue to preserve and hopefully grow much better in the future. Okay, that's all for this session. I look forward to sharing more in the upcoming videos, and if you have any further questions, feel free to submit in the comments below. Thank you.